Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Gold. This is turn 77. We've got a lot going on in this turn, and I'm actually a little crunched for time, so I'm going to try to get through it as best I can and cover all the important pieces, but we might miss a few things here or there. Let's jump into things, and we're gonna breeze through this, but honestly, the vast majority of it doesn't matter. We have completed Blood 7. Nothing for Proving. We've got a Weeping Stone, which I don't even remember what this is. It's a Water 1. Nice. With our Apsu. Nothing with Harspex. Nothing with Gnome Lore. We Cloud Trapezed Chuck down to Viridian City. We found the Silver Sarcophagus in the Abandoned Hills. Kia cast Teleport. We found nothing with Auspex. Nothing with Augury. Did some side searching there. Found nothing. Our forces were defeated in Sirmiok by Pewter City. We took Flower Meadow Fortress, Wick Forest. We had leaderless units there, and they were destroyed. Ekritique, and this is something that we're actually going to look at. Ekritique attacked with their massive stack against Pewter City, 611 versus 37. And they lost. Now, Ekritique actually, or Pewter City actually, lost a fair chunk of stuff for this. I say fair chunk of stuff. They lost like all of their chaff, which really doesn't matter in the long run. They didn't lose their Golem Champions. They didn't lose their Groudon. They didn't lose their Mew. They didn't lose their Rayquaza. They didn't lose a Tree Lord. So it's really the stuff that matters there. So that's a big deal. Let's just watch it. This is an interesting battle, and it might play in. We might get to see some of the stuff that we're gonna have to face in the. So we've got Heat from Hell that comes up from the Groudon. We've got a whole mass of units from Ekritique. It's really, it's the Pewter City stuff that's really interesting. So we've got a ground army that goes up, right? That's important. We've got a natural storm that goes up. That's important. We've got a bunch of anti-dead stuff coming out. Pull from the graves repeatedly, right? We've got a relief cast by a Tree Lord. Okay. We've got a Power of the Spheres going up. This Mew basically is just boosting, path boosting the shit out of himself, which is very important because this guy's probably going to be in one of the two fights because he does have map move 100. He's easily going to be able to get there. We've got Wrathful Skies and the Ravenous Swarm. So Ravenous Swarm is really important here because they're fighting undead. But it's more this Wrathful Skies that is going to be doing a whole shit ton of work. So the Wrathful Skies comes down. And Lightning. Solar Brilliance comes out from the Mew. That's a big deal. We've got Wrathful Skies up. Solar Brilliance coming out. Can't talk. Okay, so that should be Solar Brilliance up now. Solar Brilliance is fucking the undead as well. So we're up to 6 battlefield enchantments now, and this is just the active ones, the ones that stick around until the caster dies. This is not to include anything else like the ground army that came out or other stuff that we've missed. Right, we've got a Creeping Doom comes out. Big bunch of chaff, basically. Another Creeping Doom coming out. And it is basically just... Did they do a... I feel like they did. Yeah. So I feel like they did like a magic bonus, maybe? I feel like they did a a Army of Lead or Army of Gold. I'm not sure which one. It looks like that was countered by the Ground Army, right? We got a Quickness coming out. So, we got a Storm of Swords. Ekritik has begun to rout. The army is just getting decimated by the lightning strikes. Yeah. Big shit, honestly. Like, really big shit. Mew casting. You cast a couple of things. Let's check. Specifically. This might take 50,000 years to scroll through this. Neko the Mew. Solar Brilliance is where we see all of the deaths come from. Is what I believe. Yeah, Jesus. Holy shit. Jeez, the fucking wall, man. Okay, that's cool. So this is all interesting stuff, and this is going to be important for us because, like I said, this Mew definitely going to make it into the fight. The Groudon might, but might be too far away. The Rayquaza likely will be able to, if for no other reason than Cloud Trippies, right? So, probably going to see the Rayquaza in the future fights. Definitely going to see the Mew in the future fights. The rest of this, probably not, maybe the Groudon. Alright, so that's interesting stuff. We're done with, well, we might as well just play it out. So much lightning. Oifa doifa. Blade Wind's coming out. Okay, we're not gonna sit here. This is gonna take for eternity. So that's 471 kills on the Rayquaza, 256 kills on the Mew. The Golems did some good work. That was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Bunch of really strong, late game, powerful, battlefield-wide magic. Alright, next up we have an unexpected event in Cyanwood City. A plague has struck the land and we lost 50% of our population. This is probably one of the worst events in the entire game. So I looked into it, and I thought that I wouldn't be able to get an event like this, but I think this is tied to an ongoing event where we have heard messages about plague, not in Cyanwood City, but in other portions of our empire. I've looked into the event chain, and I feel like I have a basic understanding of it, but not a very good one. Like, I don't know how to prevent it. So this is really horrible luck or lack of knowing what's going on from my part, either or, right? But at the same time, the game ends in like 4 turns, and what we can really produce or do with or earn from Cyanwood City doesn't really matter anymore. So at least if this is going to happen, it's going to happen now. And the next time I see a plague event in one of my games, I'm going to immediately look it up and immediately start doing what can I do to not have this ever happen to me, that type of thing. We got 12 air gems in the cavern room, which is actually really nice. There's an upcoming arena battle, which we're going to participate in, because why the fuck not? We found a Grunt Acolyte. Our Battle Girl Ruby was found out. Heard some afflictions. Yada yada yada. Did some patrolling. Starving here, etc. So, this is something that I didn't talk about in the last session, because I kind of just forgot about it. But I did put out a bid, because we're allowed to bring whatever we want, whatever we can, to the final fight. Not the 6th champion fight, but the final big fight. So I'm laying down money for mercenaries, because why not? So we're gonna see how that goes. I've purchased the Master Druid, Istana's Warriors, and the Whispering Legion. So, honestly, not a big deal, and we probably won't even keep them on our march forward, but we'll see how it goes. We did, in different turns of luck, you get another Black Belt Traveler. So that's pretty cool. Exit. What the fuck is going on? Everything is just this mad dash. Our inventory is getting emptied out. Everything is this mad dash to get over towards Viridian City, to be able to make it to 28 and 14 by turn 81. So, the only other thing that is happening that is not the getting to 28 or getting to 14 is going to, we are sending this army, or at least part of it, right, to Trentspor. And we're probably going to meet up with Vilgo and these fucking Pidgeys and take them there as well. But we're going to try to take the Throne of Death on turn 80. So this would be 78, 79, 80. And then on 81, assuming that Zenville is still alive, we will have capped said throne. And capping said throne will give us 1, 2, 3, 4 thrones capped, which is currently more than Pewter City. And we are hoping to make it more than Pewter in other locations. Like, we hope to take Lilidor away, we hope to keep Urfel away, we hope to take Dreher Caverns away. Now, honestly, I have no idea if... we haven't really discussed this part of it further. We haven't discussed whether or not the thrones are going to come into play, whether we're going to use them as a tiebreaker. I don't really care, but I'm making moves with stuff that I can't get to 14 and 28, so might as well do it. All right, so that's it. We're not gonna talk about fronts. We're just gonna talk about what is going on, what all of the movement is, what matters. And I'm gonna miss a whole bunch of stuff here, okay? What I did, and I spent several hours working on this, is figuring out exactly what my break points were for different researches, when I needed people, what people in what places, and how I was going to be able to achieve that, and moving people, because I had to start moving people this turn in order to get people to 28. 14, I have like an extra turn because most of my champions can move farther, right? The 14 is less of an issue at the moment. But there's also this big ass stack in the way. So I've asked Pewter politely, or I tried to be polite, to please vacate 9, 210, and 10, because I need those provinces to be able to march on 28 and 14, right? 28 and 14 are very open and available to Pewter. His whole fucking empire just kind of like wraps around them. I have a very narrow corridor which with to arrive in 14 and 28. So I've asked him to vacate. Hopefully he vacates this turn. This actually fucked me up, by the way. This really fucked me up, and I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to fix it. But I had intended, right? Remember, I had intended to gateway Kia into Sirmiok, because that would mean on turn 78 we would be in Erd and Sirmiok, and then we would go 78 would go we'd be here at 78, 79, 80, 81. We'd be here at 78, we'd go 79, 80, 81. Even if he vacates this and we were to teleport next turn, that would be 79, 80, 81, 82. So we can't get the forces that we were going to get, he has forces here, into the same location. So we are teleporting her to Viridian City this turn. We've got some other things that we're going to try to do, but mostly we're just going to try to hope that given an opportune moment, some of these units, which are map move 16, all of these EVs, which I don't understand why they are so low map move. They're 8 map move. It's like they have the shortest, stumpiest legs on the face of the planet. So some of these map move 16s might be able to make it there in time. Others probably are not. So we're going to have to, in the coming turns, probably ditch some of the units that we were going to utilize. let's take a look at who is actually moving out, because we are not bringing all of our researchers. We are bringing a good portion of these units, and a lot of them aren't even set to cast anything yet, because I ran out of time with the scripting. So the scripting that I did was based around very important scripting. Like I know I want these battlefield spells, so I need to know who is going to cast those. So I need to know how many gems I have, how many gems I need to have. We have some scouts that over the next turn or two are going to wait in Viridian City and Three Pine Grove, basically. We're recruiting scouts in both of those locations. Yeah. Well, no, not both of those locations. We're finishing up a scout or a Hitmon champion here. But we've got scouts in Three Pine Grove and Kunal that we're going to bring spare gems into 26 and 29 to help make sure everyone has enough gems for once we actually arrive in 28. But a very good portion of our army is moving out. So let's take a look at what's actually happening here. We are leaving behind the electrodes because they are literally just fuck you balls that could harm us far more than they could help us. Pointless. We have a bunch of our Black Belt Goes that are going to be stationed with flyers, etc., etc. I'm not going to talk about everything. We're going to gloss over a lot of things, and I'm going to talk about the important stuff. We have a small communion. The small communion is, I say small communion, it's a communion of 8 schoolgirls that are slaves, and 4 or 5 masters with Ishtar, I think. Who is it? It is Tarbal, sorry, also as a communion master. So we've got a couple of different things that we're going to try with that communion. It is possible that the communion doesn't survive to do anything because the schoolgirls only have 5 HP. They are very weak. And I had been prepping, right? Part of what I was doing was prepping things like coral blades to be able to put onto all of the different schoolgirls and have them be a little more robust. But the sudden decision to end the game on turn 81 means that we are nowhere near to having produced all of the blades that we would need for this communion. So those blades are just going to be used for other people that are important that we want to keep safe, right? The communion is going to try to do some stuff, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Simple as that. Okay. So once we get down to the masters, we'll actually talk about what some of that stuff is. We have 3 mercenary groups. They are situated in multiple different areas, and they're really just extra manpower. I'm not even really scripting them out to do things too terribly much. It is what it is. Chuck, very important component in this army. One of the reasons why he is an incredibly important component in this army is because he is an incredibly ridiculous leader, along with having inspirational. Okay. He has +4 morale that he adds to all of his units. This is incredibly important because this gives us a morale of 21 on some of our units. A lot of our units, apparently. 17 on these sea trolls. 19 on these blue belts, etc. This is very, 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 very important. He holds the majority of our forces. And I might actually rearrange things to the point to where he holds as much as we possibly can by the time we get there, right? I didn't want to worry about it too terribly much at the moment, but the point of this is to try to challenge Wailing Winds, because Wailing Winds could absolutely fuck us. I am 99% sure that after conversations with Atlantis, I'm 99% sure that Pewter has taken Lugia away from Atlantis, who had taken it away from Pewter, who had taken it away from me, who had taken it away from Pewter. So I'm anticipating Wailing Winds to be in this fight. I was trying to get my own Wailing Winds into the fight. It didn't work out. We would have been able to reach it in the future again, but the very short timeline that we got placed upon means that it just didn't happen. So, what we've got is Chuck with his incredibly high morale, and the second thing he's going to cast is going to be Fanaticism, because it's a battlefield-wide morale buff, and that's going to be a very big deal. So Chuck is going to be doing Divine Blessing, Fanaticism, Divine Channeling, and then other spells. Really, these three are the ones that matter. I'm putting them in what I hope to be order of priority. The Divine Blessing, one of the reasons why I'm struggling on this, trying to decide whether I want to do Fanaticism first or whether I want to do Divine Blessing first. The Divine Blessing is honestly in a hope to counter Master and Slave. Because Divine Blessing is going to... We have very low... I say counter. We have very low magic resistance. But our Blessing does put another 4 MR onto targets, right? So that'll be 14 MR. And then if we do something like Fighting Field, that should be more MR, or if we get anti-magic off, that should be more MR, right? So the goal there is to try to make sure that our MR is as high as it can be prior to a Master and Slave coming out. Again, I wanted to get my own Master and Slave out, but we're just, the way it worked out, we're just like a turn or two behind where we would have to be for that to really work. If I had pulled the trigger on it immediately when I found out that we were going to do turn 81, I could have done it then. I could have. If I had stopped worrying about blood at all and just gone straight for Master and Slave, definitely could have gotten it, but I fucked that up, so that's on me. So this is I think hopefully going to be the proper order. I think part of the bonus I'm hoping is that a good portion of our units are very high morale already. So my hope is that if Lugia is present on the big battlefield, because Lugia might be present on the Champions battlefield, keep that in mind. So if Lugia is present on the big battlefield, my hope is that our already high morale survives long enough for Fanaticism to... So this is a 250% time frame. And then after that is Divine Channeling, because I think Divine Channeling, we have a fair amount of priests between our Black Belt Goes and our nurses. The Divine Channeling, I think, is going to actually assist in the long run, so we'll see how it goes. And yeah, that's Chuck. Chuck, and then large amounts of... We have a very big army. This is a very, very large army. This is 185 units, right? But you got to keep in mind, right, a lot of these units also spawn additional units. So this is big. This is going to be really big. Okay, moving onwards. Got... Okay, so most of our nurses are set up to do a whole bunch of Sermon of Courages, right? Again, this is to try to assist in getting rid of the... or dealing with the... Fuck me. My brain is mush, because I've spent so much time working on this shit. To deal with Wailing Winds or Blood Rain or anything like that, right? Sermon of Courage is... then we have Heavenly Strike kind of like mixed in, because by this time, because these are all 100%, by this time Sermon of Courage should already be fully in effect. And I think Heavenly Strike is probably not going to come down. I haven't done the math correctly. Actually, I think I set them prior to doing Chuck. So the hope is eventually to have them switch over to Heavenly Strike, but I don't think I'm going to be able to script it, because with looking at Chuck's timeline, right, it's 125 is 250, and then a 175 is 425. So 425, in theory, I think we could script the last Heavenly Strike, but I'm not sure that it matters. So, this is another mercenary group. We've got Wanda in here holding a bag, just trying to. We're gonna take massive amounts of diseases, right? We have so much supply usage here, and it is going to fuck us. But we're doing everything that we can, as much as we can. We've got nurses, we've got supply items. It's not going to be enough. It is what it is. We've got all of our Arcanines out front because they do have a heat aura. We are going to be buffing our armies with fire resistance. But I don't want anyone to catch fire immediately, so it is what it is. This is actually probably, we need to do a double line because you can see up here we've got mucks and stuff like that, and that's a dangerous situation. So I'm gonna do that. We're trying to keep people that don't like our earth elementals. They don't care about the poison, and we're gonna try to get poison resistance up, but we'll see how it goes. So Wanda's just moving forward. Make sure else here. I don't know why I'm changing these things right now. The turn's already sent in. So these are things that I'm gonna have to change for next turn. We've got units of Vaporeons. We've got units of Glaceons. Right, we're gonna try to have a cold protection buff up, so that hopefully the Glaceons don't harm themselves or harm other people. We have a huge stand of Apiums, another group of mercenaries, and then we get into some of the other big stuff. So we've got Communion Master with our Astral Fire random, right? We're going to try Phoenix Power. We're going to try to put up Warriors of Muspelheim, which is going to be a cold resistance buff. We're going to do Flaming Arrows. I don't think that's going to matter, but we're just throwing shit out there. We got a Communion Master putting up Doom. We got a Communion Master putting up, hopefully, Anti-Magic. We're going to fill in the rest of these scripts. It's just, this is what I was testing to be like, who do I need to put gems on? Who do I need to make sure is moving, etc., etc. So Venna is out here, and she's kitted out with a bunch of different gear, just slotting her up to do things. She's going to be doing Frostfend, and she's going to be doing Warriors of Niflheim. So she's got a bunch of water gems that she's going to be using. She's carrying more units as well. She's got a +3 morale, so not quite as good as Chuck, but pretty good. Okay. We've got another Communion Master with Will of the Fates. We've got another Communion Master doing Light of the Northern Star. Now, he is likely going to have his own Astral Mages, so this is probably going to be something that will benefit him, but he's probably also going to do it himself if he's bringing a shit ton of Astral Mages to the final battle. So it's going to benefit both sides, so it's kind of whatever. We have Simios coming in with Army of Lead. Yay! Army of Lead, Earth, Summon Earth Power, Temper Flesh, Iron Skin. His big deal is Army of Lead and then kill shit. He's got crazy magic resistance. He's got super high protection. The only thing he doesn't have that makes me somewhat is he doesn't have Ethereal. Okay? So I couldn't get it on him because he's got a Shroud of the Battle Saint. And it is possible we have some other Steelixes coming in. I might end up swapping gear over to them and have them be some of our units, but we'll see. Right, we've got some stuff going on. We've got Pyriflogos. He is coming with the main army. He's kitted out with random gear. He's going to be doing Phoenix Power, Firefend, Warriors of Muspelheim. Did we Warriors? No, we Warriors of Niflheim up there, right? So we're just getting more buffs out, and this is not necessarily the only thing that he's going to be doing. Again, I was just trying to figure out what are we trying to accomplish? What kind of buffs are we trying to get up? We don't have enough high evocation, and we have too many squishy things that I don't want to put up things like Wrathful Skies, or that might change it. By the way, we might very well put up Wrathful Skies, or other things like that, like Firestorm, right? We don't have high enough evocation for that type of stuff, so we're not worrying about it right now. We're coming in with Boib the Cocythiad. She is doing Life After Death, which is probably going to be a battlefield spell that he already has because he has the unique item that does that. Haddad is going to be one of our champions going into the 6v6. Tarbal is coming in as a communion master with power of the spheres, body ethereal, personal luck, and finishing off with arcane domination. This is going to come very late in the middle of the battle, right? And it might not actually accomplish anything. Because it might not go off. He might not have enough paths to actually do it by the time it gets around to him. And if he doesn't, he doesn't, right? But this is like the next best thing to Master and Slave that I have access to. And there's the chance that the battlefield does become flooded with magical beings. So this is just a crapshoot. Again, we might not even do that. We'll see how it goes. Okay. We are bringing in Thula, one of our Queens of Thunder, and she is going to do Fog Warriors and Arrowfiend. Fog Warriors is hopefully going to be a very big deal for us. Fingers crossed. Barathras is coming with us as well. He's going to be doing Fighting Field right off the bat to help us hopefully stave off a Master and Slave. And he's going to be doing Ground Army to hopefully counter the majority of the issues that we're going to get from Army of Lead. Ayla is coming in, and she is actually going to do Mists of Deception. So this is going to spawn phantasms throughout the fight, and she's going to be doing Thunderfend. And then we have Yura, who's another leader. She's probably going to have her stuff removed and put onto people who have higher stats. We are bringing a bunch of Crush Girls as extra leaders just to make sure that we have enough leadership for the final battle, because who knows, we might get sniped on the way there, yada yada, etc, etc. Then we have our Fairy Queen is coming in with Mass Regeneration, Relief, Serpent's Blessing. Okay. She's got a whole bunch of gems. She's got a cornucopia on her. She's got a bunch of magic resistance put on her. She's got a dragon helmet for morale, right? I have kit her out in hoping to keep her alive as much as possible. Another thing that I did, so this is basically what the set is, right? This is the army that's moving out. We have other pieces that are going to try and reinforce, right? Kia's Gateway is still going to try to reinforce. We have these patrolling Crush Girls that are here. We have these Black Belt Goes that are going to be brought in. We're trying to catch up with another stack of Amphiroses. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it in time. We've got Egria and Inu that are going to try to make it there. Ininu is going to try to make it there. These two are stopping off in Viridian City, but Egira's actually just going all the way across to Erd, right? So we've got a lot of movement. We've got some down here. Lamashtu has some Boots of Quickness on, and she is going to be rushing her way all the way over to Viridian City and trying to make it up to Nenaboa, because research-wise, and this is why we're not bringing every single mage that we have in Viridian City, is because the way it all hashed out. We got 78, 79, 80. In those 3 turns, we should have Blood 8. And Blood 8 is going to give us Rush of Strength. So Rush of Strength is going to be +4 strength for the entire battlefield, our entire side. +4 strength is pretty fucking good. It's pretty nice. And then, and honestly, after that point, I'm probably going to spam Life for a Life. Life for a Life, it tends to be pretty decent. So we're gonna see how it goes. We might, I might do Blood Rain, but I think it's a bad call. So I don't know. We'll see. We might do some Hellbind Hearts. That could be cool. So regardless, though, that's the plan, is to get Lamashtu over there and to get her into Rush of Strength. Maybe we do some other stuff. I'm not sure. I didn't really have time to kind of like look at what her paths were and what we were going to do. We have a Ring of Wizardry at the ready. This is probably going to go on a scout as they are ferrying gems over. And right here, once we hit 29, right before the final battle, right, we're probably going to organize equipment, etc., etc., do a whole bunch of different stuff. Now, there is a big problem with all of this, right? In the fact that, and this is not me bitching. This is not me preemptively excusing my loss, because I don't know what's gonna happen, right? But Pewter City is in Goldenrod City, right? This is a major base for him, and Pewter City's right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from that. Now I am also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Viridian City, I suppose. But there's a little bit of a travel comparatively. So Pewter has a little bit of a home field advantage, and he has a base to work out of. It is possible once we get to 29, but it's possible once we get to 26, that he starts fucking flambeing us, that he starts mine hunting the shit out of us, that he starts bringing in firestorms or murdering winter or what have you, right? And if that is what happens, I mean, it is what it is, right? We're going to be bringing a whole bunch of units. That's why we are bringing a lot of the spares that we are bringing, even though we don't have crazy plans for them. That's another reason why we're going to be mass-producing scouts and sending them into these as much as possible. But it is what it is. Whatever happens with that, we've kind of done what we can do. We are bringing in Rex, and we're bringing in Rod, our new Black Belt Traveler, because they can cloud trapeze over there, right? And we're forging a shit ton of... so let's talk about this, actually. We'll go down here to our champions. These are our 5 champions currently. We're sending a Mud Champion over there. I'm not sure if he's going to make it in time, but we're sending him over there. And we are also sending, or we're recruiting a Hitmon Champion, right? And we're recruiting an Ampharos Champion. I think the Ampharos Champion is going to be able to cloud trapeze down into one of these areas next turn. So that should be fine. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So should be able to cloud trapeze straight into Dampdale, which should get him there in time. The Hitmon Champion, I think, is going to be able to move out with everyone else. I think everyone can move in a single turn. Everyone can move into 210. And then into Dampdale. So we should be, timeline-wise, we should be good. Okay. We have kind of already kitted out our champions. This is probably not going to be the final gear, but I needed to put gear on them just to see what different gear I had, because again, we're trying to not duplicate gear, to the point to where I actually don't have anything to put on Regice. I have stuff. Apparently I can't put pebble pouches on him, right? I have stuff to put in there. It's just not stuff that's going to do anything, right? I mean, I guess I can throw an alchemist stone in there. So we're kind of holding the copper arm and the sword of many colors as a potential option for something. We might put that on the Hitmonchan, right? Because the Hitmonchan gets 1 of all of these, which is kind of shit, but 2 of all of these is actually pretty decent. So putting a copper arm and a sword of many colors on it could be okay. That might be all right. So basically we're still trying to suss out exactly what is going to happen with our 6v6 team. And because of that, we're just forging random shit. We're forging Fire in a Jar, we're forging Dancing Trident, Crown of the Titans, Dancing Shields. We're just forging a bunch of different stuff. Oh, I need to oh, nope. It's already done. I gotta remember, it's already done. So we missed a forge, but I think we're out of a lot of gems, so that's probably one of the reasons why we didn't forge. Probably could have forged something death over here. Should have forged like a horror helm or something. That would have been good. Like I said, I've been very rushed the last couple days. So we're just forging a bunch of different stuff in order to try to get enough items to put on everyone involved And we're going to continue to forge a lot of these different things. Again, we're probably going to use the scouts that we build over the next 2 turns to flood into Lumbaria and into Dampdale, carrying gems, carrying magic items to resupply, etc., etc. So there's still going to be a lot of little nitpicky changes here and there between now and turn 81, but the changes that come are going to need to be like airdropped in, basically, is what's going on there. So that's pretty much it. We have Ruax, the King of Magma, is fighting in the fucking the arena, and we don't really have anything sent with him. We put a great sword of sharpness, and we put a earth gem on him so he could do earth power and iron skin, temper flesh, phoenix power, phoenix fire, blah 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 blah. I don't even fucking know if that's gonna be something that can happen or not. It was kind of an afterthought, but there's no way for us to get Ruax into any of the combats, so he's just hanging out there. So I was like, fuck it, why not? I could have put other gear on him, but this other gear might actually end up being useful for our Steelix champions, for Ininu and Inu, etc. So I was pretty sure the Great Sword of Sharpness wouldn't matter. So I didn't want to send him in naked, but I didn't want to use any equipment that might actually be useful in the long run. So that's it. That's pretty much what's happening. That's what's going on. We are very pared down. We're probably going to send out a Crystal Matrix. We're probably going to, I don't know, we're probably going to send out some other stuff. Oh, goodness. But we've got so, I'm considering putting the Crystal Matrix on one of the air ladies, because if you super buff, what is it, the mist one, you get a lot more out of it. But I don't know. There's been a lot of hemming and hawing from me. Oh, we're also trying to recruit the Wolfkin Reavers into Erd 9. Next turn, whatever mercenaries there are, if there are any other mercenaries, we'll try to recruit them in Dampdale to send them up to... So it would be recruit here, yay, move here, recruit here, move here, right? So we'll see how it goes, right? We're just trying to put in every little advantage that we can to see how this works out. And again, I think Pewter's going to win. I think Pewter's probably going to win both combats. Pewter has been ahead the entire game. And I have been playing catch-up the last several turns. And I honestly think, oof, that drop from our capital. I honestly think that maybe over the course of a long-run game, maybe we can do something. But I don't think we're gonna win this. But I think what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to make it as climactic as possible, right? So we're gonna try to make this a big event. We have a bunch of movement around and about in his territories. Basically anything that I think can make it up to 28, we're gonna try to make it up to 28. So we've got a couple of Crush Girls heading up that way. Anything that can't. Oh, we're kind of sending a lot of our scouts over in that general direction, because I think over the course of the next 3 turns, I might airdrop them in, because why the fuck not? But we're gonna hit Grayer Caverns 2 turns before. We're gonna hit Lilidor 2 turns before, or we're gonna try, right? Get there in time. 78, 79, 80. So yeah, you can move and attack. We're gonna try to keep Urfel out of his hands, etc. Bunch of stuff. This is a bunch of crazy coordination. There's a whole lot of nitpicky, like, micromanagement, and it's a lot of fun. But I think I can already say, after only 2 turns of this, I'm gonna be happy when turn 81 rolls around. Oh, it has been incredibly crunchy and stressful trying to get through all of this. All right. So I'm droning on at this point. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you are anticipating this final series of battles. The big battle in 28, the champion battle in 14, the kind of like mini battle for the thrones going on in the background. I hope you're looking forward to this. This has been a lot of fun for me. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.